A really interesting aspect of relationship dynamics is going to come to a head today, and what is being highlighted is the theme of whether or not our actions clearly reflect our ideals. You know, as human beings, one of our biggest pet peeves, the things that drive us absolutely crazy, is noticing the behavior of other people and feeling really bothered by it. Especially during Virgo season, we have a tendency to perseverate. That's kind of like spinning around a one particular thought. And so we're going to become kind of obsessed or focused or critical about either our behavior or other people's behavior and how it all kind of connects the dots. And I'm going to use some oracle cards to explain, right now Venus is in Libra. It is highlighting relationships. Venus is all about trust, love, and comfort. And Libra is all about balance, honor, dignity, respect, but also reciprocity, which is giving and receiving. And so if the behavior within a context of a relationship means that somebody's doing great and somebody else is not, these things are just a matter of time before, cracks start to appear. Now, the really strong influence today happening is that Mars, at the very last degrees of Gemini, is urging us to kind of make a decision, because Mars is the planet of action. And at the end of Gemini, we have, at the end of any zodiac sign, we have what's called an anaretic degree, which is a sense of urgency. So there's like this really intense pressure coming from within, or maybe pressure from outside of you, to take action, to make a decision. And you're going to be thinking about all the parts, like as if it's a chess game. So when we think about relationships, it's never about one particular thing. It's usually a culmination of multiple factors, multiple events, multiple things that kind of lead us towards certain perspectives or feelings, right? And when we notice patterns, that's really what's happening when the moon and the sun are still in Virgo. Virgo's superpower is attention to details. And it's one of those things where once you see something, it's like you can't unsee it. If you notice paint peeling or a crack in the wall, once you see it, you can't stop looking at it. The same thing goes for relationship dynamics. If something's driving you crazy, it's going to really drive you crazy right now. But here's the kicker. Whether or not our actions are clear, Mars square Neptune means that our actions, the things that we are doing within the context of relationships, might not be as clear as we think. And when we are, absolutely sure that the problems are all somebody else's fault, then what we're doing is we're not really taking responsibility for how these things are interconnected dynamics. So just make sure to take as much of a objective, which means kind of taking a step back, see what you can do to kind of get a bigger picture perspective, think about all the parts, and make sure to take responsibility for anything that's yours. Oh my goodness, the Tower card today. So the Tower card is about some sort of a structure being broken apart. It could be a relationship, a career, something in our lives that we're really taking a long time to build, like a building. But in this card, it's very biblical. Sorry, it's kind of terrifying. It reflects the Tower of Babel from the Bible, where there was sinning happening and God stepped in. Now, lightning bolts come in our lives sometimes in little ways or big ways. It could be a breakdown, break up, but it could also be a breakthrough. Because if you realize that something isn't right, seeing is the first step to understanding. And acceptance is the key to understanding. Accepting things for what they are leads us forwards on a pathway to something different or an opportunity to make changes. But if we're unwilling to accept reality for what it is, the lightning bolt hits harder. So today, please do be mindful of your behavior as well. There's a high risk of delusion. There's a high risk of not seeing ourselves or other people clearly. So do pause and reflect before taking action, even though you feel like you got to do something really urgently. I'm Erin. I'm QueenBeeTarot. Thank you so much for being here. I do have full-length detailed horoscopes on my YouTube channel, where you can find out lots of information about how the current astrology is going to affect you and your sign. I'll see you tomorrow.